What is up, everyone? Okay, so, have you ever woken up, looked in the mirror, and for a split second, didn't recognize the person looking back? Now, imagine that feeling. But instead of a split second, it's your entire life. And instead of your own bathroom, you're in a strange house with a husband and a daughter you've never seen before in your life. That is the terrifying setup for the 2026 sci-fi thriller affection. And let me tell you, the ending of this movie is a total brain melter. I've had so many of you DMing me saying, wait, was she Sarah? Was she Ellie? What was with the seizures? Welcome back to your nerdy show. I'm your host, Spoiler Master. Today, we're breaking down the plot, that massive mid-movie twist, and what that haunting final shot actually means. The setup. Who is Ellie? All right, let's set the scene. The movie kicks off with a bang, literally. We see this woman, played by the incredible Jessica Rothe, who you might know from Happy Death Day, lying in the middle of a road. She's banged up. There's a wrecked car nearby, and she's having these really intense, violent seizures. Before she can even catch her breath, bam, she's hit by another car. Now, usually, that's where a movie ends, right? But for our protagonist, that's just the beginning of the nightmare. She wakes up in this beautiful, cozy, but super isolated farmhouse. Enter Bruce, played by Joseph Cross. He's the perfect husband, attentive, caring, maybe a little too calm. He tells her that her name is Ellie. They've been married for years, and they moved out to the middle of nowhere to help her recover from a terrible accident that wiped her memory. Then there's Alice, this sweet little girl who calls her Mommy. Here's the thing, though. Ellie isn't buying it. Deep down in her gut, she knows her name isn't Ellie. She has these vivid, crystalline memories of being a woman named Sarah Thompson. Sarah didn't live in a farmhouse. She lived in Maine. She didn't have a kid. She had a degree in computer science from Columbia. So, we spend the first half of the movie in this state of gaslighting or glitch. Is Bruce a kidnapper who found a woman with amnesia and decided to play house? Or is Ellie's brain so damaged from the car wreck that it's literally inventing a fake backstory for her? The midpoint reveal, the glitch. Most movies would save the big aha moment for the final 10 minutes. But affection does something really gutsy. About halfway through, the other shoe doesn't just drop. It crashes through the floor. Ellie, or Sarah, depending on who you believe, manages to sneak out of the house. She's looking for a phone, a neighbor, a road sign, anything. And what she finds is way more disturbing than a kidnapper. She finds a lab, but it's not just any lab. It's a facility dedicated to neural mapping and consciousness transfer. Here is where the sci-fi elements get really goopy, as I like to call it. Remember those seizures she was having? Those weren't just medical symptoms. They were system rejections. Here's the breakdown of the twist. The woman we're watching is Sarah Thompson. Bruce wasn't lying about her name being Ellie, though. Well, not exactly. The real Ellie. Bruce's actual wife passed away. But Bruce, being a tech genius with zero boundaries and a whole lot of grief, couldn't let go. He used a highly illegal, experimental technology to download his late wife's consciousness and memories into a new host body. And who was that host? Sarah Thompson. Think about how messed up that is for a second. Bruce didn't just find a random woman. He essentially hijacked Sarah's physical form. The car accident at the start of the movie? That wasn't an accident. That was Bruce acquiring his hardware. He kidnapped Sarah, wiped her brain, or tried to, and uploaded Ellie 2.0 into her head. So why does she remember being Sarah? Because the human brain isn't a hard drive. You can't just hit format and expect every trace of the original person to vanish. Sarah's soul, her core identity, was fighting back against the Ellie software. The seizures were her brain literally trying to uninstall the virus that was Bruce's wife. The existential horror of the ending. As we head into the final act, the movie shifts from a psychological thriller into full-blown body horror and existential dread. Sarah, let's call her Sarah now, because she's reclaimed her name, confronts Bruce. This scene is heartbreaking because Bruce actually thinks he's the hero. He tells her, "I saved you. I gave you a family. I gave you a life." He honestly believes that as long as he loves the idea of Ellie, it doesn't matter whose body she's in or that he murdered Sarah's life to make it happen. But here's the kicker about the ending that everyone is debating. During the final struggle, Sarah realizes that the upload is becoming permanent. The more she fights, the more the Ellie memories start to overwrite her own. She starts to remember the day Alice was born. not as a bystander, but with the actual emotional weight of a mother. She starts to feel the love for Bruce that the real Ellie felt. It's a race against time. If she doesn't stop the process, Sarah Thompson will effectively die, and a ghost of Ellie will take over her body forever. In the final sequence, Sarah manages to get the upper hand. She has a chance to kill Bruce and escape, but then Alice, the little girl, comes into the room. Alice is crying. She's terrified, and in that moment, Sarah has a seizure. But this one is different. It's quiet. When she opens her eyes, the look on Jessica Rothe's face changes. The Sarah fire is gone. She looks at Alice, reaches out, and says, "It's okay, baby. Mommy's here." The final shot. Who won? The movie ends with a slow zoom out of the family sitting at the dinner table. They look like a perfect, happy family. Bruce is smiling, Alice is eating, and Ellie is humming a song. But then, just before the credits roll, we see a single tear leak from her eye. Does that look familiar? It's the exact same shot from the very first frame of the movie. So, what does it mean? Here's my take. Sarah is still in there, but she's a prisoner. The Ellie software won the battle for control of the body's motor functions and daily memories. To the outside world, she is Ellie. Bruce got what he wanted, a perfect, compliant replacement for his dead wife. But that tear tells us that the Sarah consciousness is buried deep underneath, watching her own life be lived by a stranger. She's trapped in a sunken place scenario, forced to watch through her own eyes as she hugs the man who kidnapped her and raises a child that isn't hers. It's a devastating ending because it suggests that technology has successfully colonized the human soul. Bruce didn't just kill her, he erased her right to exist, even while she's still breathing. Why this movie hits differently. I think the reason affection is sticking with people so much is that it taps into a really modern fear. We talk a lot about AI and data privacy, but this movie takes it to the ultimate extreme, identity privacy. If someone can map your brain, can they own you? The director, B.T. Meza, does this amazing job of making the farmhouse feel like a prison, even though there are no bars on the windows. It's a mental prison. And honestly, can we talk about Jessica Rothe for a second? The way she plays two different people in one body, using just her eyes and the way she holds her shoulders, is Oscar-worthy. You can actually see the moment Sarah loses the fight. It's chilling. I've seen some theories online that Bruce has done this before, that maybe this isn't even the first host he's used for Ellie. If you look closely at the photos in the hallway early in the film, the Ellie in the older pictures looks slightly different. Not like a different actress, but the hair and style are just off enough to make you wonder if he's been updating his wife for years. That makes the ending even darker, doesn't it? Our nerdy thoughts. So, at the end of the day, affection is a cautionary tale about grief and the ethics of technology. It asks the question, is a person their body or their memories? And if you can keep the memories alive in a new body, is it actually the same person? Bruce thinks the answer is yes, but that single tear at the end tells us the answer is a resounding no. But hey, I want to hear from you guys. Did you interpret that final scene differently? Do you think Sarah is totally gone? Or do you think she's just biding her time, waiting for another seizure to try and take back control? And honestly, how creepy was Joseph Cross as the nice guy husband? Drop your theories in the comments below. I'll be hanging out there to chat with you guys. If you enjoyed this breakdown, do me a huge favor and hit that like button. It really helps the channel out. And if you want more deep dives into the weirdest sci-fi and horror movies of 2026, make sure you're subscribed and have that notification bell turned on. Until next time, stay curious, and maybe don't trust everything you remember.
No, what the heck, I'll laugh anyway.